TIFU by blowing my hand up. TL, doctor, got too cocky firing a grenade launcher, shot myself in the hand. Obligatory. This didn't happen today, but about 2 years ago. I was in the army and designated as one of my unit's grenadiers. Regardless of role, every 6 months, you're expected to attend a training session to make sure you're still proficient with your weapon. This was my second time firing the relatively new M320, which replaced the older underslung M203. Both fired the same round and both essentially operated the same way. 'Cause this was a training environment, we were only using inert cheetah rounds named because of their orange powdery explosion upon impact. Despite the inert, these things will still mess you up. Despite this, I thought it best to not wear gloves. I grabbed my dozen or so rounds and head to my lane. The first 4 rounds are R0 to make sure we understand how this thing works. Every time I pull the trigger, a cloud of orange powder erupts right where it should. I feel like hot zucchini, and round 1 of the first qualification table is ready. I post up behind my little knee-high wall, take aim, and fire. Immediately I feel a searing pain in my left hand, the hand holding the foregrip on the weapon. I figure I probably slipped and probably hit it on the wall ahead of me. I look down to check it out and all appeared normal, and rest the now cleared weapon against the wall before I try and see where my round had hit, but I didn't see any powder from my lane. I looked down again and noticed that, for some reason, I'm absolutely covered in orange powder. Before my eyes, my left middle and ring fingers flay open before my very eyes, and then it hits me. I cheesecake up. Before I had another thought, the medic on duty was hustling me over to the Humvee designated for idiots like me. In what feels like seconds, my hand turned into a bloody mess. I was still fully coherent thanks to adrenaline and whatever else. Because it was my buddy as the designated medic, I asked him how bad this was. They might need to amputate. Fucking awesome. We arrived to the base hospital and my commander and the chaplain somehow beat us there. 'Cause they're sick banana, everyone wants to see. My boss takes some pictures and suddenly my hand is probably in tons of what not to do presentations. I had a fractured joint in my left ring finger, 2 pretty major lacerations along my middle and ring fingers, some scorched flesh, minor burn damage, and some lasting arthritis. Worst of all, orange powder essentially tattooed into my skin from impact. I get to keep all my fingers. Edit, exactly where I went wrong I still don't know, but what I think happened is that I braced my hand atop the wall I was firing behind, effectively putting my hand right in front of the barrel. Photo edit, since you guys asked, here's the picture that's probably floating around safety briefs everywhere. Viewer discretion advised. This was around an hour after initial butternut up. Bleeding had for the most part stopped and scorched flesh had been trimmed away. You can see the cheesecake orange powder, only a little bit still remains. But it kind of glows, which is fun. Apparently if I hit it anywhere higher up on my finger, amputation would have been a serious consideration. Edit. Wow, top of the hot page and first gold. Thank you whoever you are. Dude, think about all the PowerPoint you caused. Since death by PowerPoint isn't a thing for me anymore, I love to think about it. So if I'm understanding this, yeah, I was confused on this too. You're so lucky dude, glad you get to keep all your fingers. So am I. I have pretty high luck to balance out my low intelligence stat. I don't get it. You still never explained how the round impacted your hand. I'm still lost after reading this several times. TIFU by trying to be overly dominant in the bedroom. This happened 2 nights ago after my girlfriend and I returned home pretty tipsy after having a few drinks with friends. We've been together for 2 years now, and with it being the first serious relationship for both of us, we've used the last 2 years to really figure out what we both like in the bedroom. I mean really figure it out. Cutting a short story shorter, I'm not the most naturally dominant guy in the world, but with booze in me I try my best. Something my girlfriend loves. Having not done the deed since the previous night, and with alcohol helping the mood along, things quickly got raunchy and we started making out. Slimming down to just our undies. My girlfriend had previously mentioned that she'd love it if I ripped off her undies instead of gently taking them off like the modern day gent I am. This is something I had yet to attempt for some reason, having never felt it the right time and never felt it the right easily rippable undies. It's at this very moment that a voice from above, be it Jesus, Mohammed, Buddha or Anne Frank told me now is the time. I grabbed the undies with both hands and pulled, and lo and behold it worked. I heard it rip and felt one side rip from the other. With that I felt the blood rush to my head. Both heads. I felt a surge of raw sexual energy. Adrenaline like never before. I seen the look on her face. I had done it. I had climbed my Everest. I had reached the promised land. I was ready to dominate that night like never before. I then proceeded to attempt stage 2 of pulling the ripped underwear off to let the real fun begin. This I stupidly figured was going to be easy. This is where the coconut up happens. I drunkenly never realized I'd only ripped one side of the underwear, leaving the other leg fully strapped in. Not realizing this, I pulled up towards me. With that I heard my girlfriend scream. Not a sexy moan type scream. A proper scream of pain. I quickly stopped my attempt, wondering what had gone wrong. She then proceeded to erupt in a fit of uncontrollable laughter. It's at this moment I realized I had just accidentally banana wedgied my girlfriend. After waiting for what felt like an age for her to stop laughing, I drunkenly apologized, shamefully taking off the half-ripped undies the conventional way while making sure all was okay down below and that I hadn't accidentally circumcised her, all of which was thankfully okay. Having thankfully only bruised my ego. Things proceeded as normal from there, but we're still laughing about it now. Edit, typos. Dead to deed. Lo and behold to lo and behold. Thanks for the education. TL, doctor, tried to be sexy by ripping a girlfriend's underwear before banana. Ended up accidentally giving her a cheesecake wedgie. I once tried to get all dominant on the bedroom with an older woman I was dating. I looked at her with my most seductive face and said, "On your knees, butternut." What did you just say to me? Me, get the butternut out of my house. She meant it too. I live here, mom. Try it again. You both got the reaction you'd hoped for. It just went a little sideways at the end. So great that you could laugh about it and carry on. Word of advice: Hulk Hogan cut his shirts before tearing them off in the ring. Just something to consider if you try this again. Are you suggesting that I might not be as strong as 1980s Hulk Hogan? Having not done the dead. I certainly hope you haven't. Doing the dead. Nice. TIFU by misunderstanding the phrase use sparingly. I thought the phrase use sparingly meant use like you have a lot to spare. This small misconception has never been an issue for me until the fateful event of last week. I have moderately severe acne on my cheeks, and so my dermatologist prescribed me a strong benzoyl peroxide cream. I was so fed up with my persistent acne that I slathered that beyond like you would sunscreen before a fun day in the middle of the Sahara. Even reapplied several hours later, which is definitely what you should do when you're trying a new medication for the first time. Woke up the next morning to the best early Christmas present I could ask for: chemical burn. My face was the worst combination of itchy and feeling like it was on fire. I cried. My mum reassured me though. Well, your skin looks clearer. Thanks mum 3. That's because it's not there anymore. Zucchini. Doctor, thinking use sparingly means use like you have a lot to spare plus high strength peroxide equals compromised facial skin integrity. Foot chemical burn. I'm just imagining other situations throughout your life where someone said that and you did the opposite. You can have some jam but use it sparingly please. Proceeds to slather jam on toast. Hey, how much of this hot sauce should I have? Use sparingly. Velp, now you know. Learning new words in fun ways. Cheesecake, you nuked that acne. If it's absolutely any consolation, I did exactly the same thing despite knowing exactly what sparingly meant and got relatively the same chemical burn that you did. Bad news, my face looked rough for a couple days. Good news, my acne went down significantly after that experience. I think my skin was like okay, I'm done. Ha ha ha. Well, that does make me feel a bit better. I can't do my skin dirty like that again. The safe way it is, I guess. Frown. You're the reason why we have warning labels. Even the warning label didn't help. She was too dense to understand it. Lol. Edited.